Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. How is everyone? Hope that everyone is well, learning, preparing for the exam. Okay, that's wonderful. Now, today, as per our promise, we are going to solve the scenario-based question, one more, that is October-November 2023, paper 2-3. But let me know, have you watched the video of the rest of the questions? Okay, if you have watched, that's great. But if you haven't watched, please do watch that video also so that you get the knack of the simple questions also, how to solve them also. Fine. Okay, now let's start. Before we proceed to the actual question, let's learn how can you actually score the marks. If you talk about this 15 marks question, this 15 mark question is bifurcated, divided into two assessment objectives. Assessment objective 2 that deals with a few things that you need to apply in your material. As you can see, this is your 9 marker reserved, and you can score 9 marks very easily if you have followed the basic instructions. And what are the basic instructions? You have analyzed your question thoroughly, and you have used and you have identified that is your program dealing with any sort of selection? Is your program needing any sort of iteration? If iteration is being used, then which is the most appropriate loop structure to be used? Whether it's the use of nested loop, whether it will be handled with a single loop. Is your question dealing with any sort of counting or totaling? How to take the inputs, how to give the results? All these things should be taken into account before you start your work. It means if a student has analyzed all these things in his question and he is meeting all the criteria, so it means that he will definitely be scoring 7 marks to 9 marks. Fine. Another important thing is any use of variables or arrays or other language dependent data structures. Like, for example, if a student is writing not the pseudocode, but he is using Python or maybe any other programming language, then is he using the right structures? So if using the data structures as required to store all the data that is needed, then definitely he will be scoring 9 marks. So be very cautious. Scoring marks is not a difficult thing if you have understood how to analyze the scenario, how to talk about that, which are the construct that are being used, which are the statements that are required to be used in your program, and definitely, inshallah, 9 marks out of 15 are yours. Any questions? Okay, one reminder. Your paper is of an hour 45 minutes. It is recommended that you finish your other questions within 1 hour. So the rest of the last 45 minutes will be reserved for solving, understanding the scenario-based question. See, that is what you again need to refer. Fine. Maybe move ahead. Any questions? Now, this is your assessment objective 3. How can you score 5 to 6 marks? If your program has been fully commented, very important thing that you need to remember, the comments, important instructions that are there should be fully commented so that the reader, the person who is checking your paper, or the person who is looking at the program knows what the program is about. Suitable identifiers, very important thing is suitable identifiers with names meaningful for their purposes. That is again an important thing that you need to see. You need to see that the variables should be telling their nature. They should not be like ABC, etc. You need to be very cautious that you are going to use meaningful names for your identifiers throughout your whole program. Another important thing is the program is in a logical order. It's like if a child has performed all the activities, but he's not doing the work in a logical order. Like, for example, which inputs are supposed to be taken, which processing is supposed to be done first. So if he has taken care of all these things, then definitely that is also a plus point for him. Solution is accurate. That is very, very important, that you have written every instruction in the proper manner. Your answer is accurate. Solution is logically performing all the tasks required in the program. They may ignore minor syntax errors, but if you are doing everything properly, your solution is accurate, you're following the instructions in a logical order, then definitely definitely you will score 6 marks, fine. And you are not leaving any single thing in your question. So any queries before we proceed to the question itself? We'll discuss the question and then we move on to the answer. Any questions? 7 marks to 9 marks are for assessment objective 2, and then 5 to 6 marks are for meeting assessment objective 3. So if you have performed all the activities properly, then inshallah, you are going to score a total of 15 marks. Okay, now this is a question. A weather station, this is question number 10 of October-November 2023, paper 2-3. A weather station takes temperature readings once an hour for a week. Once an hour for a week. Now, this is what I'm highlighting for my own self and for you people also. The temperatures are stored in a 2D array, and the 2D array's name is temperatures. Each column contains 24 readings for a single day. Now you can see each column is containing 24 readings for a single day. Like they are taken every hour, and they are recorded at the respective locations. The first temperature is recorded at 0000. As you can see, this is my first location. And the final temperatures recorded at 2300. This is my final temperature. And this is for one column. Like that is for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Clear? It's a 2D array by the name temperatures. It has 7 columns for all the 7 days of the week. And the temperature readings are taken every single hour from 00 till 2300. Fine? Starting from 00 and ending at 23. Fine? There are 7 columns, one for each day of the week, starting with Monday and ending with Sunday. Now you can see this is starting with Monday and ending with Sunday. As you can see here, starting with Monday and ending on Sunday. So this is how you will actually, like before you start your work, you will make a plan, you will make a planning for your own self, and then you will go further. Fine? Never ever do the work in haste. Always do the work properly, looking at each and every question part and analyzing, making like a diagram for your own self, and then proceed. Any questions till now? 7 columns depicting each day of the week, starting from Monday and go on till Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the last day of the week. The variables max day, min day, and av day. As you can see, max day, min day, and av day, as I mentioned here, are used to store the minimum, maximum, and average temperatures for a day. You can see again, they're depicting their nature, max day, min day, and av day. You can see for yourself. Similarly, the variables max week, min week, and av week are used to store the maximum, minimum, and average temperatures for the week. So you can see for yourself, the variables themselves are depicting their nature. Like what are they meant for? Very easily. Fine. Any questions? The array has already been set up and the data stored. Now, this is not your concern, that you don't have to take the inputs at all. The array is already being set up and the data is already stored there. Any questions? We have a 2D array to store the temperatures. We have 6 variables for storing the maximum, minimum, and the average of the day and the week. And now the readings are taken 24 times for the whole day. Every hour, that is based on an hourly temperature. Okay, that's wonderfully fine. That's really great that you can recall that we have done a question like this in our class. That's really great. Wonderful. I'm really very happy. Okay, now let's meet the criteria. Let's meet the requirements. Write a program that meets the following requirements. Requirement number 1, finds the maximum and minimum temperatures for each day, calculates the average temperature for each day, outputs for each day, name of the day, for example, Monday. Now you can see this is what is very important. Name of the day For example, Monday, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, average temperature. Now, this is what you have to output. For output for each day, the name of the day, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, and average temperature. Finds the maximum and minimum temperatures for the week. Once you are done with the week, with the day, now this is the day is now over. Now you have to do the same procedure for the week. Calculates the average temperature for the week, outputs maximum temperature for the week, minimum temperature for the week, average temperature for the week. Now, I hope that this is making some sense to you all. You have done, as was pointed by Adi, that we have done something similar to this one earlier. So I guess we'll be able to solve a little faster. You'll be able to comprehend because that is something similar to what we have done. All temperatures output must be rounded to 2 decimal places. Now, this is very important that you need to see that all the output should be rounded to 2 decimal places. You need to remember this. Fine? Any issues? And for this, which function will you use? The round function, as you can see. This is the round function that we are going to use for our work. You must use pseudocode or program code and add comments. Remember, you have to add comments as needed to explain how your work code works. All inputs and outputs must contain suitable messages. Very important thing. That is also going to give you marks. You do not need to declare any arrays or variables. You may assume that this has already been done. You do not need to initialize the data in the array. Now you can see these are already done for you, so you don't have to concentrate on the inputs at all. You don't have to concentrate on the array declaration or the variables that have already been mentioned. But if we are using a variable of our own, then you can declare them, you can initialize them, but definitely we will be initializing them. Fine. So whatever has already been explained, that is not supposed to be declared. That is not supposed to be done anything with that. You don't have to populate the array at all. It's already done for you. The data is already present there. And now our task is to make a program, to make pseudocode, to design pseudocode to meet the requirements. Any questions? Temperature readings are there, 24 readings are there, starting from 0 and ending on 23. And we have the values for 7 days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Average temperature for the week and the day. Similarly, maximum temperature for the day and the week, and minimum temperature for the day and the week is already declared, and we only need to initialize them and we have to work on it. Fine. Now, what are the requirements? You need to use the names shown underlined must be used as given in the scenario. So you can't change the array to any other name except for temperatures. Be cautious, it's containing S. For this reason, you need to read the question thoroughly. Do not do the work in haste. You need to use the variables the way they are in your question. Fine. In your question paper, you should not change them at all. Similarly, variables are max day, min day, av day, max week, min week, and av week. Requirements: find maximum and minimum temperature for each day and calculate the average daily temperature. And for that, you will definitely be needing some sort of searching, and you will be totaling. Definitely for average, you always need total. Find maximum and minimum temperatures for the week and calculate the average weekly temperature. And for that, you need nested loop. And it means that if you have used it accurately, means that you will be definitely meeting the second requirement. And definitely for average, we need total. Exactly. Requirement 3, outputs for each day name, the rounded values for maximum temperature, minimum temperatures, and average temperature. Output for the week, the rounded values for maximum temperature, minimum temperatures, and average temperature. And you have to output with appropriate messages, and you have to use the round function to perform the round. And remember, rounding is done to 2 decimal places. Any issues, any questions? Okay, are we ready for solving the scenario-based question for October-November 2023, paper 2-3? Okay, that's great. Now, just 2 minutes to understand. The same drawing is here for you so that you can comprehend. And let's start. Just very quick recalling, because we have done something similar to this one earlier. So I guess that you can recall. Yes, that's wonderful. Now let's start. First part is my declaration. And you can see a comment is here declaring meaningful identifiers. And we are not going to use identifiers that are already there. We are going to use those identifiers that aren't a part of my given a given question, and I need them. The way it was written nested, it means I need two variables, one for the outer loop and one for the inner loop. And you can see declare day counter and hour counter in their integers. Then I need a variable to store the day total and the week total, because I have to find out the average exactly. So average is not supposed to be declared, but for average, I need total. So I need one total to be stored for finding out the total of the day and another variable for total for the week. So that is why we have declared two variables, day total and week total. And I mean, it may contain a real value. That's why it's declared as a real value. Then again, if you observed, we were given the string value that was given to me as a hint that they wanted me to display the name of the day. And that name of the day was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it means I need a string variable. So these are the variables that I need. One for the outer loop, one for the inner loop. And then we need again, just a hint, whenever we have a nested loop, I have to refer to the different locations. So definitely what I need to have a nested loop exactly. So then we are needing for totals, we need two variables for total, one for day total, second one is for week total, and we need a variable to store the day of the week. Now comes the initializing part. Initialize max and min temperatures and total for the weeks. And I can see week total is so simple. We have initialized it outside the all the loops. Week total equals to 0. Min week equals to, again, you can see minimum is always initialized with the highest abnormal value, as you can see. And max is initialized with the least abnormal. As you can see, max week is initialized with minus 1000, while min week is initialized with 1000. As you can see, max initialized with the least abnormal, always the reverse. And min is initialized with the highest abnormal. And total is the same as we have been using totaling and counting. Okay, now exactly, counting is not in this case, but just recalling so that you can recall that totaling variables and counting variables are always initialized with a 0. Will you start now? And you can see for day counter, like this is what I am starting. Initialize max and minimum temperatures and total for each day. X day number 1, starting with Monday, for example. For day counter equals to 1 to 7, this is my outer loop. Day counter, as you can see, we have used here. Inside this outer loop, we are initializing max day. See, it was max week. Now it is max day. Again, the work remains the same, that we are again initializing this with the max is always initialized with the least abnormal value, and min is initialized with the highest abnormal value. So you can see max day is minus 1000 and min day is 1000. And day total, that was week total, and this one is day total. I hope that we are clear. We are not confused at all with this regard, isn't it? Are we all clear about it? Any issues? Gee, are we clear? See, this is max day, this is min day, and this is day total. These are the three variables that are used here, and they are for each day of the week. Day 1, day 2, day 3, in this manner. Okay? Now we are starting with our counter. First R. First R and day 1. Day is 1 and R is 1. R is 0. So now you can see the first temperature reading, R counter is 0 and 0, 1. So it means it will be storing the data here. Now the first entry, as is already present there, we are just adding. So you can see we are just performing the activities one by one. Day total equals to day total plus temperatures, R counter, comma day counter. So R counter is my row, and day counter is my column. As you can see, day counter is starting with 1 to 7, and this is how you will handle. This is your row. Row is 0, comma, and 1. And the first value that was present there, assume whichever value was there. It was maybe 20.9, for example. So that 20.9, the first value that was present in your temperatures array at location 0, 1 will be stored in the variable day total by adding with 0. Right now the value is 0, 0 plus, maybe assume whatever the value is. So that is added to the variable total, day total, and the new value will be stored again back in day total variable. So you can see the first value that was stored in this location was added to day total and stored once again back to the variable day total. So we are done with the one task, one subtask of our main task. Now the next stage is to find out the maximum and the minimum temperature. Fine. If temperatures R counter, day counter is greater than max day, as you can see, max day is minus 1000. So definitely whichever temperature, like 29 or whichever, assume it was 29. Fine. Make it very simple for us right now. Or maybe make it 30. Fine. So if the first temperature reading that was present in my array at 0, 1 location was 30, so this 30 was added to 0 to make day total as 30. It was checked with the max day that was minus 1000, and definitely it will change the value for max day. Are you getting it? It will definitely change the value for max day. It will not be the same. Are you getting it? G children, any issues? May I repeat? Yes, may I repeat, or are you getting it? See, this was my max day, this was my min day, and this was my day total. So they are different from this, be clear. And although they are initialized with the same variable value, no worries at all. Because again, remember, max is initialized with the least abnormal, min is initialized with the highest abnormal, and totals are initialized with the 0. The same strategy as we have been using. So there's no change as such, except for this. Fine, are you clear with this? Min day, max day are initialized with this value. And now let's move back to this one. You can see day total equals to day total plus temperatures, and you can see the value of our counter is 0, comma day counter is 1. So it will be taking the value. This is what we have talked right now. We have changed the value to a simpler, can say just for our understanding, 30. So right now, 0 plus 30 makes it 30. So that the variable day total will hold 30. Now the same value that was stored here is now compared with max day. 30 is greater than minus 1000, definitely. So immediately, max day will hold the value that is present in your temperatures variable at 0, 1. So in the beginning, you will have this value stored in your max day. Got it? Our counter is 0, and then we have comma 1, and in this manner, it will be storing the values in this manner. Are you clear? And if it ends my handling of max day. Similarly, now we are handling the min day. You can see what are we doing? If temperatures R counter, day counter, do not get worried at all. It's a 2D array, and remember, the array means a row and a column. So my row is the 0, 1. 0, 1 is my location, is my cell, or you can say the location, which I am referring to. In this case, we are talking about 30 is less than min day. So min day is holding 1000. So definitely min day is going to be replaced with the newer value of 30. And once my loop for the first time is over, when the value of R counter is 0, so the temperature is checked against the maximum day, min day, and it is updated with the latest value, the first value that is present in my array. Fine, are you clear? And definitely day total will hold the addition of this, this value also. And that is also written back to the variable day total. And now we are done with next hour counter, and it will move it back to my for hour counter once again. Now I'm done with my first input, with my first, you can say, calculation or the checking. And now we are working on our counter changing. Our counter will become 1. So now you can see our counter becomes 1, means row changes. Row is now 1 and the column remains the same because we are referring to this one Monday 1st. So in this manner, all the readings will be checked one by one against the stored value for max day and min day, and you will be getting the, once the loop is over for our counter from 0 to 23 times, the max day variable and the min day variables, these both will be holding the maximum and the minimum temperatures for Monday. Are you able to comprehend? And definitely day total, as the work was like we have been learning since long. The day total variable will be holding the sum of all the temperatures in these locations, like from starting from 0 till this last location. Any issues? Yeah, so now once this inner loop is over, you are done with the calculation for Monday. Has everyone understood? So once this inner loop is over, we now hold the maximum temperature for Monday. We know the minimum temperature for Monday, and we also know the day of the week also. Exactly, the day of the week is also known to us. Are we clear? Because this is the first day. Day counter is holding the first day. That is Monday. What are we left with? Exactly, we are left with the average and the outputs. But before that, what are we doing? We are doing one more task, and that is we are just checking that which day is it. Isn't it better to do it with case of? Exactly, yeah, this is making your task, you can say, a little better rather than making your, the lines are lesser, isn't it? Exactly. You could have handled with if, fine. Abdullah, if you're okay with if, no worries at all. You could have handled with if also. But since case of is going to make my program more, can say what is the advantage? Aren't the lines lesser when you're handling it with case? Exactly. That's why case of day counter. If it's 1, then day is equal to Monday. If it's 2, then day equal to Tuesday. Day 3 means it will be Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday, then Saturday. And in case if the day counter is holding the value of 7, the day variable will hold Sunday. And this day was initialized, was actually storing the data as a string value. Exactly. So we are just selecting the message for the day. We are done with all the readings checked for the maximum day, the minimum day. We are done with the process of finding out the day total. And now we have also worked on day counter. So are we able to comprehend? Now the next task is finding out the average and definitely the value, all the values to be output. So now we can see av day, as was told to me earlier, av day equals to day total divided by 24. Now here you can see 24, fine, exactly. You can do it with 24, that's perfectly okay because there are 24 readings. And then you can see now we simply output day of the week, like day of the week, it will be a Monday, output maximum temperature. And again, you can see round. I'll come back to this once I'm done with the outputs. So we have output of the day of the week. We have output of maximum maximum temperature, minimum temperature, and the average temperature, which we have computed right now. So this is done for the day, the week, which is Monday. Are we able to comprehend, yes or no? Now coming back to this, any questions till now? Okay, now coming back to this round. Round was required to be done. They said that you have to round the temperatures to do decimal places. So it's so simple. You simply use round function and you write down the variable as the first parameter and then comma, and then you mention the number of decimal places. So since it was mentioned that you have to use two decimal places, that was simply round, brackets open, simple brackets. Remember, simple brackets, the parenthesis, then we write down the variable that is supposed to be rounded, and we write comma and then 2. Be clear. Yes, exactly. That's wonderful, Ali, that you are recalling and you are actually pinpointing this also. Then when you work in pseudocode on your arrays, then you have to use the which brackets. You can see for yourself. This is the bracket that you need to refer to, isn't it? This is your bracket. Can you recall? This is the bracket. Very important thing that you need to know, that this is the bracket that you need to use here. Now let's move on to, this is the bracket that the square brackets are used when you're working with arrays, and when you're working with functions, the predefined functions, the library routines, and you use the simple brackets or parentheses. Fine. Similarly, the round function is applied on min day and av day also before we are printing them. Okay. Yes, exactly. There are different ways of doing it, Ali. I mean, you could have done it just then and there also, and when you're printing them, you can simply print them directly. That's perfectly okay. No worries at all. You could have done it in the first go also. I mean, there are different ways of handling the question. I'm just handling one of the methods. You can think of the way we talk about right now, that if someone could have used if instead of case also. That's perfectly okay. As far as you are meeting the criteria, as far as your program is accurately handling everything, then definitely you will be scoring the marks. So once we are done with this first day of the week, now what is immediately we're going to check the maximum week. We are just going to do it in the same manner. If max day is greater than max week, and you can see max week is going to be minus 1000. So definitely the first that will be the storing the maybe the maximum temperature was assuming that it was 25. So 25 is definitely greater than minus 1000. So immediately the max week variable will be storing the max day value. So immediately we are updating the max day also. Fine, you can see max day is immediately updated. The max day value, similarly min day is checked. If min day is less than min week, again the same. If for example, whichever was the value for min day that was there, so maybe assume that the minimum day of the week was maybe 10. So 10 is less than 1000. So immediately the min week variable will be initialized with the min day value. So in this manner, once you are done with the first day results, calculations, and everything done, then you can simply update your max week and min week variables also. And do not forget to update your week total also. And again, you can see it's so simple. Week total equals to week total plus day total. See, so simple. The day total variable is already holding the value, so it will be storing the value here in your week total variable. Easy. Now we are done with day counter. That was for day 1. It moves back. Now the day counter value becomes 2. So now it will start working on second day of the week. The same process repeated, and that is where you can see, that is why we need to initialize max day, min day, and day total inside this loop. Otherwise, what may go wrong? What may happen if I forgot to initialize them inside the loop? Exactly, the temperature reading that are taken in the end will be unimaginable. Exactly. That is why do not forget, make a point that whenever you're working in such situations, there are some variables which need to be initialized inside the loop also. I mean, although we have been trying our level best to acquaint you with where to declare and initialize the variables, but be cautious in some scenarios, in some situations, we need to initialize a few variables inside the outer loop also, like before the inner loop starts. Okay. Now it is now day total, the second day of the week, that is Tuesday. Now it will do what? Now it will hold maximum temperature, minimum temperature for the day, and day totals are reinitialized. They are initialized with the value minus 1000 for max day, min day will hold 1000, and day total will hold 0. Now it is going to start from the beginning for Tuesday. 0, the value is now going to be for this one. This value taken, this value taken, this value taken, all the values one by one will be checked. And then once this loop is now over, after 24 readings are taken, so it will now be holding the maximum temperature for Tuesday, the minimum temperature for Tuesday, and the total temperature, the day total temperature of Tuesday. That will be only for Tuesday. Have you recalled it now? Is it making sense to you? That's great. I know that now it is very much clear to you all, isn't it? Okay, now. Similarly, the same process repeated. Now, day counter is now holding 2. So it will now move on to day for Tuesday. And it will repeat the same procedure for the day of the week as Tuesday, the maximum temperature for Tuesday, the minimum temperature for Tuesday, and the average temperature for Tuesday. And again, the same procedure repeated. Maybe Tuesday's temperature were not the maximum, but they were the minimum value. So maybe in this manner, the minimum temperature will be now holding the Tuesday's temperature now. Assume that, I'm just giving you an example, that maybe the minimum temperature that was updated was for Tuesday. So if assume that it was 20 before that, so now it will be, if the new temperature for the minimum value maybe was 18. So now Tuesday's temperature will be held in midday. In min week, exactly, in min week. Because min week is now going to hold the minimum temperature for the week. Earlier it was, the minimum temperature was the one that was on of Monday. Now it will be of Tuesday because minimum temperature is now on Tuesday. Okay. So in this manner, we are going to perform the nested loop starting from for day counter from 1 and ending when the day counter is 7. Any issues, any problems? Okay. Now, once I'm done with all the 7 values, it means I'm done with the whole procedure. I'm done with all the values taken for Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday, then Saturday, then Sunday. It means all my readings are done and I am through with the whole procedure of finding out the maximum temperature for each day of the week, finding out the maximum temperature of the week, and the only job that is left is to display the weekly maximum, the weekly minimum, and the weekly average. So this is what is done, and this is done outside your this day counter variable. Now we are done with the nested loop. We are done with the procedure of finding out the maximum, the minimum of the day and the week. And this is just the average of the week is to be, you can say, computed and then displayed. So you can see av week, as was present in my question, arrow, the assignment operator, week total divided by 7. Since there are 7 days of the week, that's why it will be week total divided by 7. So this av week will now hold the average temperature for the week. We are going to display the maximum temperature, the minimum temperature, and the average temperature for the week. And we are done with the whole scenario-based question. And do not forget to mention the comments. As you can see, the comments were declaring the meaning identifiers, initializing maximum and minimum for each day or for the week. And similarly, whenever you are updating the total or the maximum and the minimum, you are mentioning that also, selecting the message for the day, you are outputting the results for the week, you are outputting the results for the day. So just mention each and every change so that the examiner and you and the person who is going to work with you knows what you are doing. Just have the habit, that will benefit you a lot. Any questions? Okay, now just giving you 2 minutes, go through it. You have any query, you can ask me, and I'll definitely be there to help you out. The round function. See, round is a library routine that is present already. We are just using it. Round, and then we write down the variable, and then comma, and then how many decimal places. So that is a Very simple function that we have learned earlier. We are just using it. No further questions? Are you sure? Jazakallah khairan Kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have liked the explanation. Do share with your friends and family, and do not forget to click on the bell icon so that you are getting the latest updates of the videos whenever they are uploaded. Like, subscribe, and share the channel with your friends and family so that they all are going to benefit from it. You do write the comment that which other videos do you want me to make. Jazakallah khairan Kasira. Take very good care of yourselves and your family. May Allah bless you. May Allah be with you. May Allah help you out. Allah Hafiz.